In November, League is removing Runes and Masteries and adding a whole new system which they're referring to as Runes Reforged. Just like the current Masteries, you can only choose one strong mastery like a keystone. There will be 5 trees to choose from: Precision, which is attack speed based; Domination, which is burst damage like Thunderlords, now called Electrocute; Sorcery, which is for mages; Resolve, which is a tank tree; and Inspiration, which is the utility tree. We will get to choose 7 of these in total, 4 from the main tree including a powerful keystone, and the rest from the subtree. In total, we will have half the customization we did before, and some of these changes will have a huge impact. The removal of runes is going to hurt a lot of champions. With no armor and magic resist, laning will be very difficult. Imagine going to lane as Lux versus Zed and having no armor runes, or playing Lux into Syndra and having no magic resist. You're going to have a bad time. I'm guessing Riot will have to buff champions' base armor and magic resist to balance this. This will make Last Whisper even worse than it already is, because that 9 armor will now get added to the base armor, which Last Whisper doesn't work against. A Singed with no move speed quince is a Sad Singed, and champions that heavily rely on cooldown reduction will be joining the Sad Singed. Cheesy picks like Full Magic Pen Brand will disappear, as well as all mages no longer having access to additional Magic Pen is a huge damage loss. AD carries will have a very hard time last hitting as well. Let's compare level 1 stats with the current and new system. Look at how much an AD carry will lose. Less attack speed, 10 AD less at level 1, which is huge, no armor, and no magic resist. Maybe Riot will buff starting items or something, and we will see quadruple Doran's Blade Rengar one-shotting everyone again. Moving on, here I have compiled all the new masteries into one image. You can download any of these images in the description, by the way. I wanted to start getting a sense of how strong these new options are, so I converted all the ones with basic stats into gold values, and we get this. In Precision, we have Lethal Tempo, which gives attack speed ranging from 30 to 80%, which is a value of 750 to 2000 gold. Legend of Alacrity gives attack speed ranging from 5 to 20%, which is a value of 125 to 500 gold. Legend of Bloodline gives lifesteal for a max of 5%, which is a value of 38 to 190 gold, which is pretty crappy. In the Red Domination tree, Eyeball Collection gives us AD or AP when we participate in a kill, or half when we kill a ward. A kill or assist will net us 44 gold worth of AP or 49 gold worth of AD. This means that killing a ward gives us 25 gold worth of stats, which isn't bad. In the blue sorcery tree, Celerity, which gives stats based on move speed, comes out to be 380 gold. Absolute Focus, which gives AD or AP when we're above 70% health, is worth 880 in ability power and 980 in attack damage. This is at level 18, however, so it will start off small. Water Walking, which gives move speed and AD or AP when in the river, gives a lot of stats, surprisingly. 1000 gold, however, it will only be active when you're in the river. Now, Gathering Storm is a bit crazy. Every 10 minutes you gain a massive amount of stats. However, AP champions aren't going to be happy about this, and attack damage champions are going to take over late game so hard. Not only do attack damage champions gain more value from this, they actually scale super hard, whereas AP champions scale terribly with ability power. What ability power champions want is Magic Pen, which we're losing in the runes. For example purposes, let's see how much damage each champion gains at 60 minutes with Gathering Storm. Draven, for example, auto attacks do 100 attack damage. Draven's axes do 105% attack damage. That's already 205%, not factoring in crit. With his standard crit build on Draven, he deals 325% AD per auto attack with an axe. Teemo Shrooms gain 84 damage, a Lux ult gains 126 damage, a Pantheon Spear gains 176 damage, the Draven Axe gains 410 damage per auto, and a Misfortune ult gains 1440 damage. Game over. Essentially, any champion that builds crit and can multiply the AD from Gathering Storm is going to be able to 1v5 late game. There are also going to be huge power spikes at 10-minute intervals when these champions gain all that extra attack damage. Now let's start taking a look at some of the new keystones. Starting with the new warlords called Fleet Footwork, what we need to know is currently warlord scales with crit. So if you do not build crit, it's quite underwhelming. It's also garbage in lane. However, Fleet Footwork is going to heal a lot in lane phase, and for some reason has an AP ratio, making AP champions heal for quite a bit early game. On Teemo, it's at 260% buff to healing at level 1. In the graph, you can see the blue lines for Teemo are a buff at all stages of the game, whereas the orange Kate lines are a buff early game as well, but fall off when she starts getting crit, because so far it doesn't indicate that crit will work with Fleet Footwork. Now, comparing the new Electrocute to Thunderlords, look at that level 1 damage, 500% increase at level 1. This mastery is going to be crazy early game. Imagine Evelyn ganking with this damage at level 2 or 3. The cooldown is quite long, however, twice as long as Thunderlords, which means it's going to shift predominantly to burst the assassins. The damage is also adaptive, meaning if you build AD, it will do physical damage. So a Zed with lethality items will actually be doing close to true damage electrocutes. Good thing armor runes got removed. Now, comparing Thunderlords to the new Arcane Comet, this mastery will be significantly stronger in lane as well compared to Thunderlords. It won't be as bursty late game, but it'll have more sustained damage due to half the cooldown of Thunderlords. This also means it's a buff to Teemo Shrooms. With base boots and Leandries, it's an 8% damage buff relative to Deathfire Touch, and once we get Sword Shoes, it's a 9% damage buff over Deathfire. Okay, now let's take a look at an interesting mastery in the tank tree called Demolish. This mastery charges up an attack over 4 seconds and then deals tons of damage. It won't be worth taking on an AD carry because that 4-second channel is quite long. In that time, an AD carry will put out more damage due to attack speed, and sitting still for 4 seconds as an AD carry is a death sentence. This will most likely be strong on split pushing tanks such as Singed. As you can see on the screenshot, it will deal nearly 1000 damage, which is almost a third of the tower's health. Abby, are we done recording?
Yeah.
Are we done? Do you like Teemo?
No.
You don't like Teemo?
No.
So thanks for watching, and I hope that gives you a better feel of what to expect come November.